Hi everyone, it's me, Lindsay, with EquipMeOT, here today to talk about opening stubborn container seals. Now I'm talking about those seals you find underneath the lid of a brand new container. This is part of a series I'm going to be doing where I answer audience questions. So I've gotten this question a ton over the years and I wanted to make sure I address it. Now I'm going to choose tools here that either you already have in your house or are very cost effective to find. Now if you want any of these things, make sure you check out the description. I'll have links for all of them down there. So I have a selection of containers with a variety of different lids and seals to kind of start demonstrating these products. Now I've already done a video that shows different cap removal and screw top removal options, which there are a ton of on the market. So I'm going to link that video here as well if you want to see that. But specifically this one is going to be for those stubborn seals. So let's start off with this guy here. Milk containers, often creamer containers, have this lid with this seal here with the loop on it. This loop seal is supposed to be one of the easier ones to remove, but I find it is a very challenging one. The good news is there's a ton of options to make it easier. Now there's tools on the market like this, which are designed to have these hooks on them for removing tin can lids that have these pull tabs. These will work very well to add the leverage to make for an easier way to open these types of containers. Now, important thing to know is you want to know which direction you're peeling and you want to peel that way. So with these, you could pull down like that and it'll open it. I'm not going to open it because I want to show you the easiest or cheapest way to do this in a second, but you can pull down and it's going to do much of the work so you don't have to pull with your finger. This is great for somebody with arthritis, for example, or just really struggles to get this started. I like to use a spoon though. Spoon is definitely going to be something you probably have in your house, and let me show you how this works. You're simply going to put the spoon up into the container, and then you're going to rest the spoon on the container and push down, and just like that, the plastic loop has been removed. All I had to do was pull the spoon out of my container, or out of my drawer, and I'm off to the races. So these spoons are a great option, but again, if you have these similar tools like this, it works too. All right, next, let's talk about this one. These are so frustrating because they say lift and peel here, but how many times when you lift and peel here does it just rip off? And it doesn't move easily. It takes a lot of pinch strength. For individuals with dexterity issues or arthritis, this is impossibly difficult to do. So this is where I like to implore the use of either your trusted kitchen pliers. These are a unique set of pliers in that they are not your traditional needle nose. These are a cylindrical needle nose so that they have kind of a rounded tip all the way down and they're nice and long. These are often used for jewelry making actually, but they're very low cost. You can find them anywhere. And I actually ignore this tab altogether if I can, and I'll just grab onto one of the little side tabs on the side. So let me grab it here. And then what I do is I just peel back and I roll. And you may have to grip it a few times, and that's okay because these pliers are really easy to hold on to. Now, if you struggle with this grip, there are other options, but you can see really nice clean removal, and I didn't even have to touch the honey. So if you have sensory issues and don't love the feel of sticky honey on your fingers, having an extra tool in the kitchen like this can be really helpful as well. So again, kitchen pliers. Having a set in your drawer can make all the difference for getting these stubborn lids off. All right, let's keep moving. Medication seals. This is a container of gummy probiotic vitamins. This is one of those really difficult and often frustrating seals because there's no place offered to grab. There's no extra pull tabs, nothing. So you have a couple options with this. A lot of people will go directly to their drawer and grab a knife. It is an option. I am not opposed to the knife as long as you do it safely. But may I suggest a slightly safer option? This is a product called Slice, and they have a whole line of ceramic tipped knives. These are very safe to the touch. I can run my finger across this itty bitty blade that's sticking up here, and I won't hurt myself, not at all, because it's so tiny and it's ceramic coated. So it's a much safer option. However, when I go to open a container and I drag that little knife over the edge, it cuts through it like butter. Now I can peel that open much easier and safer. So this is a safer option than your traditional knife. And the nice thing about this too is it can either be hooked onto your key ring, come with you wherever you go, or it's magnetic. I leave this thing attached to the side of my refrigerator at all times, so it's always there and not taking up any room in my drawer. So that's an option for getting these medication lids open. Now let's talk about these ones. Now these tend to be a little bit easier, these foil lids. A lot of times people can just push through it with their thumb. But if you don't want to do that, you can certainly use the slice on this, and watch how easy this works. I barely have to touch it and it slices it open. So these foil lids work really easy with that. And again, if your dexterity is problematic and you want to remove it, that's where these pliers can come in. You can use the pliers to get off all the extra little sealed bits if they are problematic and making it more difficult to put the regular lid back on. Of course, I'm trying to do this on camera, which makes it look a little harder, but you get a nice clean seal, which can make it easier for handling the lid later, okay? Moving on. Let me get my trash out of the way here. All right, here's another traditional lid. This is a seal from like a condiment container. Got one here for ketchup, and I've got one here for mustard. These do have the little grabby spots on them, but they don't have the central pull. I want to show you something that I think is kind of a novel concept for this, but works really well to add extra grip, where you don't have to sustain your grip, because these are surgical clamps. They're really low cost. I got these really pretty looking ones, these iridescent style on Amazon, and they have the little clamp piece here so that once I grab on, which I'm going to do, I'm going to grab onto the little tab, and then I'm just going to click, click, click. And you don't even have to click it that many times. It is going to hold it very, very tight. And then I'm just going to roll. I'm just going to roll with it, and it's going to stay on. And look at how easy that pops off. I love that technique. Really, really easy. And it requires minimal grip strength because it's going to do all the work with its clamp. So let's do it again. Now the key to this type, though, I've learned, is because it grips so tightly, it really works best with these plastic coated. So these plastic coated seals that aren't just a straight, like this one is more of an only like foil seal. This is so strong that it will rip this. So you'll end up with just a strip being pulled off. But it, again, works great for these kind of coated ones. So again, click, click, click. I can take my fingers out of the hole, and I just roll. Off it goes, like magic. And then you do need to release it. Whoa, I just launched it across the room. Just like that. So there's another one. All right. These two things are common ones I see a lot of people asking about. Are these little containers? They're really, these especially, these fruit containers, feel almost impossible sometimes to get off without making a big mess or struggling. So I'm going to introduce, you can use the kitchen pliers, as I suggested before. This is a great option. These are not going to work great for this. These are not going to work great for this because they're too small for this circumference. These are best for those smaller types. This is a new idea, though, that I came up with recently. This is actually designed as a tool for removing hot things from a microwave. So the first time I ever saw these was removing trays out of boiler, or like the broilers in a commercial kitchen. So it clamps the edge and you can pull something out. But it has this lovely clamp here, and I tested it, and I just want to show you how well this works. So you're going to clamp the little pull tab on the plastic lid here. So I'm going to clamp it on there, and I'm going to squeeze, and then I'm just going to use leverage to peel back and look at how incredibly nice that works. And I'm doing this kind of awkwardly so you can still see what I'm doing here, but obviously you don't have to be quite as dainty with it. Just like that. Pulls it right off very, very cleanly. And now I can enjoy my peaches. Okay? Let's test it on these foil lids. These foil lids I actually think are one of the trickier ones because they're so thin. A lot of people, my kids included, when they have these, they will often just stab it with the spoon to open it up and then just eat around the foil. But This is able to lift this off. Now, in my experience, it often will peel the, it will kind of split the foil. So let's see here. Gotta do it the right way. Gotta use leverage, physics and whatnot. I'm an occupational therapist, not a physicist, so I don't know all that stuff, or an engineer. But yeah, it did a really good job of that, actually. It did not tear the foil this time. So it's all about getting the right angle. And again, because this has this soft grip in here, it's like a silicone grip, it grabs it without tearing it. Sometimes these direct metal grip will actually just tear the foil or the plastic and leave a hole in it, and then you're just frustrated. So this with that softer grip works really well. Okay, moving on. I had to include this because even though this technically isn't a seal, these are really notoriously difficult containers to get open. And if you're a pickle person, like I am, that can be really frustrating. So obviously with these, you have to look for the little pull here tab to get those open. My favorite way to get these open at home is go back to the spoon and just pry that until it cracks out of the way. You could use your pliers now to remove it if your fingers can't handle the rigor of removing the plastic. But now I've got that opening. I have to show you this because I've talked about 3D printing here on this channel quite a bit. This is a 3D printed product specifically designed for this type of container. It's called a Pickle Key. I'm going to link the 3D print down below in my description because I just think this is so clever. But basically it has a little notch in it that lines up with the underside of the lid here. And you simply you can put your finger in here and then you just lift up on it and it easily opens your pickles. And let me tell you, when I say this is in my drawer and used, I mean it, okay? So that works great for that. Another use for that is actually these plastic lids. So like on a container, these plastic lids on containers of like peanuts and stuff like that, you can actually use that little lip to reach underneath those as well to give you a really easy lift on that. And again, we've got this guy here. Go back to your spoon here, break it open, break the seal, slide the spoon in, and open up your can of peanuts. So there's a way to do it without having any special tools in your kitchen. So that was kind of a ton of options for you. I hope you found some value in this. I would love to hear down below what containers give you a problem or if you have any awesome solutions you love. And as always, if you need more information like this on how to stay safe and independent in your home and community, consider subscribing to EquipMeOT. Thank you.